Hi. So I wanted to share with you information that I received on the eclipse. And I received this from my team. I received it as a channeling and I wrote it all down, but I'm going to paraphrase a lot of it for you. So the biggest thing they want us to understand is that this eclipse, and really all eclipses, are portals, they're gateways. And so they said, you may ask, to what? But that's not really the right question. For this eclipse, the question would be, to who? And the answer to that is it is a gateway to more of you, more of your multidimensional self, more of your totality. And what they said was that the amount that we're able to access really depends on the level of clearing that we've done within our form. Like, how much have we emptied ourselves, worked through the limitations, the traumas, all this work that we've been doing for years. How much of that work has been done and how much we can integrate. And that was actually really important when they were saying that, because, what they were saying is that this information that's coming in needs to be seamlessly integrated into your environment, meaning it cannot be this bomb that gets dropped that then derails you. And so they also said, the integration is actually the most crucial part, right? Because that's where things can go sideways. And so what they said was, when one comes into the knowing and understandings of more of their multidimensional aspects, there is a particular danger of delusions of grandeur or attaching to a label. Now, we've seen this. We've seen to where someone has, all of a sudden claimed, I am Archangel Michael, or I am this. And I'm not one to say that you're not that, but I'm going to say that's just a piece of who you are. You truly are so big. Your multidimensional aspects are humongous. And when we go into labels, I am this, I was a druid priestess, or I was this, we actually limit it. We really limit it, because yes, you were, that's fine. And who else are you? What else have you done? What else have you learned? Keep going and really resist the desire to attach to the labels that can come in as we begin to truly understand ourselves. It's very much as we come into this place of, the more I learn, the more I realize I know nothing. And from that space, we can continue to grow. And that's what's wanted, not fixing ourselves into a label, a particular path of understanding, because I'm here to tell you, we've done many, many paths up the mountain. And we've learned beautifully from each one. So, I asked then, I said, well, what do you want us to do? What is the best thing that we can do to really utilize these energies coming in, this eclipse? And what they said was, first, we need to understand the mechanics. And, the month of March has been this constant digging into the shadow, digging into that subconscious, pulling out all of our stuff, right? It's been a month of triggers, truly. And I don't know anyone right now who hasn't at least experienced a small trigger, because it's meant to pull it up. It needs to pull it up. It's not fun, but it's necessary. And, they're saying that this energy, its sole purpose is to bring light to the shadow so that we can really see it. And yes, this can be a painful process, but it's also liberating. And as each insecurity, wound, non-beneficial programming comes to light, it allows one to see the root cause. And that is a very crucial step. And so they said to me, imagine all of a sudden you realize there's a closet. And you look inside this closet and you see, because the light's on, you see that in the closet there's mold. Right? There's mold that is growing in the corner of the closet. And they said some people are going to look at that and go, nope, and close the closet door. Some are going to clean up the mold and be like, okay, I've got that, I see that, and then close the door. And others still are going to look at that mold and go, why is this here? Who did this? And that's when you can really go into that victimhood type expression. And we may see people outwardly attacking others because somebody must be to blame for this mold in the closet because it can't possibly be me. That type of energy. And yet others still are going to look at that mold in the closet and go, why is it there? Where's this wetness coming from? Where's the leak? Where's the drip? And the energies of March and the lunar eclipse that we just had are allowing us to kind of go and dig a little bit deeper into the space of what's dripping. And then you can fix the leak. So that once you close the closet door, or maybe you'll leave the closet door open, the leak still isn't continuing. You're not constantly having to clean up the mold. You're getting to the source. And that's very, very important now. So, they said this is, this crucial step to not only clean up the mold, but to get to that sourcing. And so the energies coming in are not only shining a light, but they're holding that closet door open. And so it can feel like a lot. It can feel like everything's coming at us from 1,001 directions. But when we go into a place of observation of it, of really kind of going, okay, this is where I'm triggered. This is what I'm feeling, without going into the roller coaster ride of those emotions, we then can start to work and get to that root cause. And the triggers are showing you the mold. They're just that, wherever you're getting triggered, that's your mold. And so that's where you work. So, the lunar eclipse in March has been the spotlight on the collective shadow as well as the multidimensional shadow. And so as we're bringing in more aspects of our multidimensional self, there is a multidimensional shadow. And that can be where we understand that maybe in this lifetime, I wasn't living the lightest life. Maybe in this lifetime, I abandoned my children. Maybe in this lifetime, I murdered somebody. And so that type of energy for some absolutely derails them. It stops them in their process. They don't want to excavate any further. When in reality, what's needed us to fully realize that this is an experience and we have experienced it all. And in order to truly experience it all, we've had to experience some darkness. It just is. It just is. And you can learn. Sometimes some of the greatest learning is from the darker lives. If we can look at them honestly and not go into shame and all of those wonderful emotions. So, the fastest way forward is what they were saying is radical acceptance of all that you are. The light, the dark, every incarnation, every form, every existence on and off planet, because that's where we're at now. We are in that space of really integrating it all. And it's moving us into our totality. And it's the light and dark of it. It's the polarities and the dance. And looking at it from a place of non-judgment, of non-guilt, non-shame, just from a place of observation. So, all of this is preparing us for the solar eclipse portal, which is April 8th. And, what they said is we call these key codes. And this is a phrase that you will continue to hear. Key codes unlock one's knowing and greater potential. We've explained this before as one holds locks within that open when a particular frequency or key codes are present. So the key codes coming in during the eclipse portal and for a few days after, right? They are streaming in high velocity and they're really putting us through our paces. A lot of us are taking afternoon naps as we're prepping for this. But, and I asked the question, I said, will someone receive a code that they're not ready to be unlocked? And the answer was no. Think of it as a river of water flowing over the sacred geometry that makes you you. If there is a matching frequency, the energy, the matching frequency, which is the key code, will go into the lock, opening it. If there are no matching frequencies within the form, the energy simply moves through. This is why a high vibration is so vital and why there has been much fear and distraction at this time. It's kind of like, ooh, look what's happening here. Nickelodeon. Ooh, P. Diddy. Ooh, the bridge. Ooh, this. It's all over the place, and it's distracting you, and it's shifting your vibration. It's bringing into your vibration maybe some things that you do or don't want. And it's shifting you, which then impacts the frequency that you are holding and operating at, which then impacts the amount that you can utilize these key codes. So I'm hoping that makes sense, because it is really important. And so they said, if one is vibrating at the frequency of fear, anger, hatred, judgment, or other low emotions such as shame, there will not be a resonance with the desired key codes. Each of you is a living library, a coded index of all of Earth's history and creation, and then some. And the then some is really, it's more of that galactic history that would be coded more towards what is your galactic lineage, and because people's galactic lineages are different, we're each holding different indexes for that. So these are all available to you to unlock once you can maintain the needed frequency. We need to understand that a higher frequency, once maintained, also comes with it a higher maturity, a lens in which we see the information, not from a place of, shame or whatever words we want to use, or where we twist it because of our own bias and limitation. Once you get to that level and you unlock those codes, those are already taken care of. Those are already cleared out. You've already emptied yourself of them. And eventually, we will get here. And some of you already may be there. So I then asked, I said, will this, eclipse be the only opening for these key codes? And they said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is not a one and done. These codes come in waves. And just as the awakening has come in waves, we can see how the waves are shifting things. This eclipse is a potent opportunity to receive many codes that will lead to full embodiment, should that be the soul's choice. And that's not everyone's choice. And that's completely okay. It is not the final opportunity. The amount of light coming into the planet is only increasing. And each stream of light will continue to shift your body, your mind, your spirit, allowing greater receptivity for the next wave of key codes to flood your being. So we're constantly in this state of emptying out to be ready for the key codes when they come in. Now, then I said, is there anything else? And they said, only to gently remind that when one looks outward for progress, they will be disheartened. The key is to look inward and celebrate your growth, for indeed there has been much change and much growth. And we are in a state of excited advancement, which I thought were really interesting words, as we peer into the probabilities. And so essentially what that means is like they're looking at the timelines and the probabilities and they're excited. It looks good. So that's why it's like you can't look outward. You can't look at the chaos out there, right? You can't look into another's shadow and then go, oh, my shadow's a mess too. What if it's not? What if your shadow contains completely different things, but you've been distracted looking at someone else's? And that's what's happening as this collective shadow just seems to get a little crazier and crazier. And it needs to. Things need to get crazier to help people shift and look at the limits in the programming. So I wanted to share this eclipse information on a separate video because these videos can get really long for sure. And I didn't want you to be overwhelmed. And I wanted you to be able to sit with this information. So I hope you enjoyed it. Take care.